Hey everybody, welcome back to my channel. I have a few things I wanted to talk to you about today, mainly some baby knits that I have been making for my best friend's sister who just had a baby. Just in case you were wondering, today I'm wearing my Ranunculus. Let me see if I can get it better. Oh, here we go. This is one of my favorite tops ever. I love this design. I've knit it twice. I have plans to make like at least another two. Both of the versions I've knit are short sleeve, although the first one I knit was as to the pattern. And this one you can see I added a bit of a short sleeve to it. I believe this one I had knit the 47-inch one because I wanted a lot of ease. And the yarn that I used for this, in case you're wondering, is by Durarem Natura. And it was the Antigone. I don't remember the color, silver or Luna or something like that. I'm not sure. Anyways, yeah, and I'm pretty sure I knit it on about a 6mm needle. And I love how big and airy and open the stitches are because I wear this to work a lot, or in the spring a lot, in summer when it's really hot days. If I have to be at work or somewhere where I still need to be a little covered up, I just wear it with this like little sort of silvery gray camisole underneath, and I am easy breezy all day. So, baby knits. I had so much fun knitting the next few baby items that I'm going to be telling you about. So the first one that I made, it was my first time making all of these things. The first pattern that I made is the baby vertebrae. So this is the baby vertebrae that I made. Isn't that just, oh my gosh, isn't it just the sweetest? Look at the back. I just really am so pleased with how this turned out. I think the yarn is so sweet. I had this yarn in my stash for so many years. It is an indie dyed yarn. I can't remember for certain the dyer. I think it was something like Sheepish Hooker, but oh my goodness, this one, like as a full-on baby knit, I think is just incredible. So let's get talking about this. So this is the baby vertebrae, and I have a few little notes here. So I knit, or I followed the 0 to 3 month size. And you may be saying, Kat, that doesn't look like a 0 to 3 month size. And I know, because I didn't check my gauge. I just jumped right in, and as such, my gauge was bigger and I didn't adjust my needle size for it. So I think this turned out more like about a 6 month size, which is perfectly fine. Not a big deal. Baby's gonna still wear it. Yeah, so the pattern called for 4mm needles and 3.5mm for the rib. I did that. I should have technically like gone down a needle size for each of them, because as I found out in the projects that follow this one, my gauge on DK yarn is actually 22 stitches. Yeah, 22 stitches for 4 inches on a 3.5mm needle. But the patterns say that I needed to get that, like, according to the patterns, that they achieved that gauge on a 4mm needle. So the other patterns I knit, I went down, and now I know to do that for future, but this one I didn't. So the stitches are a bit bigger and the size turned out bigger, but it's all good. I followed the pattern exactly. Well, that's not true. I'll tell you what I did. So for the ribbing, whenever it's 1x1 rib, I always do a twisted knit stitch. So I knit through the back loop for the knit stitch. it's my preference. I like it so much better. I feel like it's a much cleaner look. So that is what I do for all my ribbing. And I did do a slight adjustment on my sleeves. So I got inspiration for this from Maddie, from Made by Maddie. I think her handle on Instagram is Made by Maddie. She's from the We Share Needles podcast, and I checked her Ravelry and I followed sort of what she had said she did for the sleeves. Oh, I blocked this stitch is sticking out. That's okay. Yeah, so for the sleeves, I did 31 rows, and so that was equivalent to about 12 centimeters. And then for the first row of the cuff, I decreased 6 stitches, right? Yeah, I decreased 6 stitches, and then I did 7 rows of ribbing. Those are the only changes that I did. And I hope she ends up loving it. I just think it's the sweetest thing. And I think it's gonna get a lot of views. Hopefully she likes rainbows. Okay, so that's the Baby Vertebrae by Kelly Van Niekerk. I don't remember the Instagram handle. It could be Pika Knits or something like that. But I mean, it's such a popular pattern. You could just Google it or search on Ravelry Baby Vertebrae and it comes up. The newborn vertebrae, I believe, is a free pattern, and all the others are a paid for pattern that come, all the other sizes come in an ebook. So you get all these sizes, which I thought was a pretty decent deal. All right, so that's the Baby Vertebrae. Okay, next up, I made two things that are intended to go as a set. So a cardigan and pants. I intend them to go as a set. I don't know if the designer did it that way. They both from the same designer. Sorry. So this pattern had first come to my attention from Kevin at the Needles at the Ready podcast. This is the Kirby cardigan. It's a free pattern from Brogo. You can find it on Ravelry, but when you click the link, it takes you to the Brogo site. The designer's name, I don't know if I'm going to say this right, Asa Bukta. I wish I knew how to say it. It's a beautiful name. Yeah, so free pattern. Let me see if I can get up close. You see it has this really pretty lace detail at the top. See that? So that goes all around the yoke. You can see it at the back too. It goes all around the yoke. There's meant to be 3 buttons here at the top, or this side, wherever they are, but I just haven't sewn them yet. I haven't picked buttons out yet, which I need to do because I have to gift this. So, all right, here's the deets. I knit the 9-month size, and the measurements came out perfectly. Guess why? Because this time I knew my gauge. I used the yarn that was recommended for the pattern, which is the Barocco Vintage Baby. This color is the colorway 10010. It's like a light purple. And yeah, I knit the 9-month size. And again, it called for the same gauge as the Baby Vertebrae, which was 22 stitches per 4 inches on a 4mm needle. As I realized with the Baby Vertebrae, my gauge is bigger than that, so I didn't even bother retesting, even though it was different yarn. I just dropped down to a 3.5mm for the body, and technically I should have used a 3mm for the ribbing and, you know, the cuffs and the button bands and the neck band, but I didn't have 3mm, so I just used my 3.25, and it did the job. Other than that, I did every single thing to pattern here, except, as I said, for the hold on a sec. No, that one was pearls. No, there is no 1x1 ribbing on this, so it's not knit through the back loop. I just did exactly what the pattern said for this one. I didn't change any of the measurements or stitches or anything. And once it was blocked and I measured it, it was exact pattern measurements for a 9-month size as per the pattern said it should be. So I think it's super pretty. I'll see if I can pop pictures in of these as they were on the blocking mat so you can get a clearer view, but that is the Kirby cardigan. Okay, and the last pattern that I made for this little baby girl is a pair of jogging pants. Come on. Oh my gosh. These look like the most comfiest things ever. This pattern again came to my attention from Maddie from the We Share Needles podcast. And it's the same designer actually as the Kirby cardigan. So it's a free pattern on Barocco on their website. Same thing, you can get to it from Ravelry. Click the link, it'll take you to the Barocco website. Same designer, Asa Bukta. And I knit the 9-month size because my intentions were for this to be a set. I don't know if you can see it, but I think they look really pretty together. Anyways, it's hard to see that way, so I'll see if I can get a picture of them together. But I love these because this waistband is so tall that you could get away with using it almost at different baby sizes, because you can just fold this, you can fold the band down at the belly if they're, if you need less length, or if you need more length, you can just leave it longer. They come out wider, like poofy over here, like a little, sort of like a bubble sleeve, but for the legs, with the cinched cuff. This was a really straightforward, easy knit. I don't think I ever made pants before, did I? I mean, both of them, even this was pretty easy and straightforward. Just a few yarn overs on the yoke, but easy as pie. So I knit the body on 3.5 millimeter. I knit the cuffs on 3.25 millimeter. There were a few short rows on this one just to be able to delineate the back from the front. Like the back had a few short rows there. And again, for the ribbing, the patterns call for regular 1x1 rib, but I like a twisted knit stitch. So I did a knit through the back loop wherever it called for a knit. And after blocking, I checked the measurements against the measurements in the pattern, and sure enough, it all matched. So it's a good thing I had gone down the needle size. So again, the yarn is Barocco Vintage Baby. It was the pattern used this yarn, and I find it very, very soft. The mom can put it in the wash. It's washing machine friendly. I don't remember if it says the dryer. This is the yarn. And this dark purple color is colorway 10022. So there we go, I'll show you the back. And so it is 52% acrylic, 40% wool, and 8% nylon. Machine washable blend. A soft machine washable blend. Machine wash, inside out, cold water, Yeah, gentle cycle, tumble dry on low. So it can go in the washing machine too. So I don't know. I mean, it did sort of get a little fuzzy with handling. I don't know if you can see it. It's got a little fuzz to it. You see there? And it's sort of all over. It's not my favorite. I would have preferred it to be more crisp, but I guess that's because of the softness of the yarn or the acrylic. I don't know. I was debating using a different Barocco yarn called Barocco Remix Light, I think. It was what Kevin from Needles at the Ready had used when he made the 2 Kirby cardigans he used, and it looked amazing. But in the end, I went with this just because it was my first time, and it was really soft and recommended for the babies, obviously. So that's what I did. So these are the baby knits that have kept me busy from March to end of May. On that note, that's a little bit of a reason why I haven't knit on any of the projects I had on the go for myself. Like I have a Trinigan, I think that's what a Trinigan cardigan on the go for myself, which is some mosaic color work. And I have a promenade blouse that really is at the point of I just need to knit the sleeves now. And I started that one last Christmas. But to be fair, it was nearly finished in January, but I don't know what happened with my gauge. It was enormous. So I had to rip it out and start over. So it's like I'm knitting 2 different sweaters. Anyways, I just haven't been in the mood. Like I've been so swamped at work the last couple weeks that whenever I come home, I don't, like it's too much for my brain even to pick up my knitting. And now that things are settling, I thought like last Friday, I thought, oh, I'm going to come home. Everything's done with work. Like I'm going to come home, relax, pick up my knitting finally. And it's, I don't know. I don't think I've lost my mojo. I just think that my mind and my body are just so tired and like exhausted that even picking up knitting is just too much at the moment. So I'm just giving myself grace, and when I'm ready to pick it up, I'll pick it up, and I'll show you my progress, or hopefully a finished object soon. But I can't guarantee when that's going to be. I really hope that I get on a better schedule with my podcasting. I say that each time, and I feel like I sound like a broken record. You know, sometimes it gets a little disheartening when you're doing this and you put so much effort into it, but it only reaches a few people. I don't know what I'm doing wrong. Maybe I'm doing something wrong. Maybe I'm just not everyone's cup of tea. I mean, that's okay. Maybe I'm champagne. So please like, subscribe, leave me a comment, whatever you need to do to help my videos get seen. So I hope you liked this sort of baby-centered episode. Let me just flash these one more time. Here we go. Here's all the baby items. That's all from me, guys. Take it easy, and we'll see you next time. Bye.